As seen in the previous lectures, interactive narratives are a regular object of inquiry in many fields, becoming an important element within the design curriculum. Because of their nature and possibility of application, interactive narratives result to be an ideal space for experimentation in the design education domain. They are indeed articulated ecosystems that include multiple degrees of complexity. Recognizing the paramount roles that storytelling can play in the different fields of design, this lecture aims at presenting a process for building interactive narratives as complex communication systems based on a through design approach. Let's start with these key questions. What do I want to share with my audience? How can I turn such message into a story? What kind of story world would result captivating, able to grasp and retain the audience attention? Which are the media used by my audience? So, where should I communicate and how? How can we engage or involve audiences? What does it mean to design compelling and satisfying narratives? We will present a design methodology composed of a set of tools for conceiving interactive narrative concepts. Throughout the lectures, we will see specific tools, recalling the reason why to use them, defining their distinctive objective, and explaining the design process each of them unlocks. Above all, we recall that in designing interactive narratives, it is crucial to develop an experience that can be perceived as consistent by the audience throughout the balance between user's agency and storytelling. Audiences have reached an important function, and now more than ever, they can play active roles. In addition to be storage consumers, they can be creators of content. Indeed, the new media habits and affordances sustained by the ongoing technological advances make interactive narratives able to foster audiences' self-expression and also participation. Since interactive story worlds can foster the engagement of a viewer, user, player, known as VOP, it becomes crucial to investigate the possibility of dealing with different media in terms of affordances and agency. What can VOP do within such story worlds? When it comes to communicate to audiences, participation is crucial. As such, it requires to be carefully designed from the point of view of its processes. In this perspective, designers are in charge not only of conceiving and crafting interactive narratives, but also of gaining awareness of the design processes required to obtain coherent and satisfying communication artifacts. Rather than providing knowledge and competencies for mastering design tools, we consider the overall process of designing such artifacts a paramount source of learning and understanding.
By unpacking the concept of design, two intertwined dimensions emerge. According to Professor Ezio Manzini, designer can be seen, first, as a problem solver, such as an agent able to find solutions to problems of different entities, from the everyday life to the global scale. Second, as sense maker, such as a creator of meaning who actively and proactively collaborate in the social construction of knowledge. The role of designers has become of paramount importance in dealing with issues related to experiences and shaping of individual and collective identities. Therefore, both storytelling and world-building activities may contribute to enrich the design practice. Learning how to build imaginary worlds can become a useful tool in every design curricula, enabling designers to conceive narrative experiences able to activate audience engagement and unlock the potential of people and stories. Now, we are going to present the design methodology that we have applied since 2016 in the Communication Design and Digital and Interaction Design courses at the School of Design of the Politecnico di Milano. Shaped as a hands-on activity for testing how narrative elements can feed the design process, more than 200 students contributed in validating such methodology. Within the three broader design phases of construction, distribution, and consumption, the methodology that we are going to present focuses on the first one. The construction phase methodology consists of 3 steps aiming at supporting the designers in training to conceive and develop interactive narrative projects, starting from a set of values or a message to convey. Since narrative itself represents a design issue requiring a systemic approach of ideation, planning, and production, each step is supported by specific narrative tools, keeping in mind that interactive narrative projects will be distributed and consumed across media. To develop compelling narrative projects, the first step is devoted to the world-building activity. It is possible to follow a bottom-up creation process or a top-down crafting. They both allow the designers to develop a long-lasting content, setting up constraints and possibilities for audience interaction. The world-building activity plays a key role in two perspectives. For the designer, it allows to envision possible realities or imaginary worlds that represent specific value systems and convey strategic aims. For the user, it allows to take action, to take part in the constructive worlds, developing knowledge on specific contents. Since characters are the narrative entities with which the audience can establish empathic relationship, the second step consists in defining the characters and their storylines. Characters should be developed as holistic elements fitting the broader story world and should be themselves consistent and complete. Such premises are a requisite for fostering the audience interaction and activating reflections about issues, moral values, and choices. The last step is devoted to shape the story as a complex interactive narrative structure. In this step, the designer should define the way in which the main storyline spreads across media, as well as the moment in which the audience can take action and even affect the development of the story. Building interactive narratives, often spreadable through media, is a well-known practice within the communication design field. Despite the fact that this field is already taking advantage of this knowledge, this is a logic still far from most of the other design disciplines. For instance, we will see existing case studies in the fashion design field that use similar but simpler ways of communicating and engaging with their audience. We will also point out how they may further benefit from including more complex interactive narratives in their communication.